everyone. I'm Dr. Olena Berezovska, and I'm welcoming you on my YouTube channel. And we have another podcast with another unique person from around the world. And today I have Krista Barry from Australia. Can you imagine? I'm in Toronto, in Canada, and she's in Australia. It's like Gold Coast, where she spends most of the time. And Krista is a special guest. You know why? Because what she provides to people, especially middle-aged women, it's something unique. I never seen it before. And let me tell a little bit more about Krista. And hi, Krista. Nice to see you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you that you joined the podcast when you have early morning and I have late evening, so which is really interesting, but it doesn't matter because we're going to have a wonderful podcast. So Krista Barry is, she studied psychology. She actually has a master's degree in applied positive psychology. And she does a lot of research work on middle-aged women who have participated in surfing lessons. So surfing as psychological technique, let's say this way, and how it impacts their well-being. So she's coaching them. She's like surf coach, and also she has a surfing school on the Gold Coast of Australia. And also she continues to do research in applied positive psychology. So that's why we're going to talk about women surfing. When I was thinking about you this afternoon and actually morning, preparing to this podcast, I was imagining this ocean, the beautiful ocean, and the surfing. And I was thinking, yeah, probably I would do lessons with you because it's worth to try. It's probably very interesting and good for your health, good for your body. So it has physical benefits, but also has psychological benefits. And you actually studied this part of surfing. So welcome to podcast, and
Thank you.
let's talk about the beginning, how it started, why you concentrating on surfing when other psychologists try to do something different and not related to, I would say, this kind of sport, type of sport, but maybe it's easy to do, maybe it's not. I don't know. I never tried. So I would like to hear your side of the story.
Sure. Well, I have a surf school, so I guess I was in that environment all the time. But I grew up around the water. So on the Gold Coast, or particularly in Australia, we're surrounded by water. And it is very healing. And there's a lot of research, as you know, in blue space and ocean therapy and things where you can participate in either swimming in the ocean, stand-up paddling, snorkeling. We go on holidays around the world, around island destinations, and people are relaxed. As soon as you're there, that you're in that environment that really does allow you to de-stress and immerse yourself into it. So being a water person that I was, and I grew up in it, I just know that from whether participating in swimming as a competitive swimmer and as an adult when I retired, and just being in the ocean or in a pool or a lake, as soon as you're there, everything disappears. It's the ability to be able to shut everything else out, the noise of everyday life, and just become one with that water environment. And I found it very therapeutic. And I know anyone who I've friends, colleagues who are in the water or just being around, having a surf school for 22 years, you see the joy and the euphoric feelings, whether we have children or adults, when they come out of the ocean, it changes their whole vibration. So I found some research when I was going through my master's. I saw some research in the UK of how the government over there was offering middle-aged women who are going through depression, excuse me, surfing lessons as part of their therapy. So I thought, well, I wanted to dig deep and to find out whether or not, this could be something that we could utilize here in Australia and put programs together. And there is a lot of surf therapy, excuse me, research there. And what I found was there wasn't much on middle-aged women. And there was a slow immersion here in Australia where women were getting more into surfing, and it was more a male-dominated sport. So the more women coming, there was an age barrier, there was a gender barrier for a particular time. It doesn't exist so much now, but there was very little research. So I wanted to spend my time researching an area that had little research. Could it benefit women? How does participating in a social setting with other women, does it build confidence? Can it help their overall well-being? So the focus was on that support network and seeing if that could be utilized as a tool to do so.
Wonderful. And the women who participate in your lessons or in your coaching, are they healthy psychologically, or they have some problems? And you try to compare, let's say, the reaction of healthy or stable psychologically, if you can say so, or those who went through some, let's say, traumatic events, or they have fear, or they have some drama in their life. And is there any difference in how you approach these women in what the reaction usually?
Sure. Well, a lot of the women that have the research was based on women 50 years and over. So most people who have reached that milestone of 50 have had quite a bit of experience in life, and they've gone through adversities and either divorces or just many different aspects, menopause and things. And it was an anonymous survey that it was done through surf schools throughout Australia. So the women brought wisdom to it. So although there was a lot of what the research found is that it really did help them navigate through these difficult times, that they found just the aspect of not just being in the ocean, but actually doing something out of their comfort zone, where they were catching waves, you can't control the ocean. So just handling the ocean aspects and learning about it really gave them some wisdom that they could actually take into their everyday life, which really did help. And that came through quite strongly in the research. But what was very interesting is that the women brought wisdom to the surfing lessons as well. So their ability to cope with the changes in the ocean, the waves, and really tackle something uncomfortable and out of their comfort zone, I think is because they went through so much in their life prior to that. So they actually did bring wisdom that was really quite beautiful to see them overcome these obstacles, where I found with the younger females, they were thinking too much. The older women seem to have more courage and bravery, which was really, it was amazing to see in that research that come through.
The surfing is challenging because I don't think it's easy for the beginner, especially middle-aged woman, to start the surfing. But at the same time, it's a lot of benefits because, and it's funny how the middle-age definition is changed during the past 50 years, because I remember I was looking at 35 years old women, and I was thinking they are middle-aged. And now when we come into 50 plus 60, then we say, no, we are middle-aged because we're going to live for another 30 years at least. This is what I hope.
That's so true.
And we're facing fear of aging. Many women have fear of aging, of losing of the sexuality, osteoporosis, and any other changes. And I'm not going to discuss physical benefits because yes, when people move, their circulation of bones is improved, and then we have prevention of osteoporosis. Everybody's afraid of, but also it's we have a cognitive reaction is changing dramatically when we start moving. And here we have a challenge with an ocean we probably didn't know, or we never look at this side of the ocean as we were swimming just like, you know, in the water and nothing else. And I like that you brought this challenge to women and build this confidence in themselves, that they confident and they actually reacting more psychologically positive on events and everything. They became brave, as you said. What is the oldest age of your of women who you trained, like, oh, you trained before? I mean, what was the oldest age?
Well, what was remarkable is that there was quite a few women over the age of 60 and 65, but the oldest that I had was 77, I think.
My
She was
goodness.
77. I've had a couple of 75-year-olds first time surfing, but you wouldn't know they're 75. They have this real aura about them, so they're real adventurous, and obviously they're healthy. But yeah, the age. What I found was that age happened to have no barriers. Actually, the older they were, the more brave they were, and they just wanted to live life. But it was the connection of women doing it together. When women learn to surf together, they support one another. There's this special camaraderie that happens, and they really have each other's back, and they really encourage each other. And if they were to do it on their own, just surf on their own, they probably may not have had that support network that keeps them going when they're when a wave's coming, and they might think, oh no, it's too hard today, I won't do it. When the women get together, it's not just it's the social aspect, it's the knowing that you've got a friend over here who's going to support you. They cheer each other on. It's such a great thing, particularly because they are in more of a male-dominated arena out there in the ocean. And although it has changed, so many more women do it. It's still that they're breaking barriers and they're doing it, and it's so liberating for them. So yeah, and that really helps with them when they get out into the everyday world. They've just got this air of confidence that they've developed through doing it.
You're reading my thoughts, because actually I wanted to ask you about this coaching, not on the beach, but also outside of the beach and meetings and socializing. And you already answered. So it's great when people can meet and other people, make friends and have absolutely different meaning in life, expanding the not territory, but I would say this, like, field of comfort, zone of comfort, when they can socialize with other people. And do you have like ladies parties, like, or just strictly coaching?
Oh no, they go for coffees. They all organize having lunches or dinners together. They form true friendships through doing it. So and that's like-minded women together doing it too, because they all come with thinking, oh, I've never surfed before. And once they have that connection, they've formed a friend for life, and then they go surfing together, and it's an outlet. It's a place where they can actually feel safe to talk about things as well. So it's not just all surfing. They can be sitting on their surfboard, just paddling, just enjoying that environment, and really just ability to maybe talk about aspects of their life with another woman who's going through things, and they share that together. And so it's very therapeutic in many ways for them.
And knowing that this is the male dominating sport, how your colleagues, or let's say men, reacted when you started to do this coaching? Was it easy, or there was some kind of competition, or there was some talk behind your back? So was it any kind of tension?
No, I think the guys out there, they really love seeing the women get out there and have a go at doing it, and they do support them as well. I think more women support each other, but of course, there's always going to be a little element of that. Guys like to get their waves in. It's very competitive, particularly when the waves are very good, and men, the guys who surf, they want to make sure they get so many waves in before they go to work that day. So getting on a wave could be challenging, but I think all in all, there is a shift, and they do really support seeing women getting out there and getting involved in surfing, particularly the older ones as well. So that's it's I haven't heard of any competitiveness where they're against it or that's ruffling some feathers, other than positive ones.
I think if we like we see it's the surfing is extremely popular now among young generation, among young people, and women and men, it doesn't matter, but it's popular more among young. And when they see you work with middle-aged women, not everyone is interested in helping this category of women, because they think, oh, they're getting older, they have high risk of fractures of bones, right? And any other issues. And some of them have high blood pressure, some of them have something else, and some of them probably has extra weight. And that's why I found like young coaches and men coaches, male coaches, they don't like to deal with this type of women. They prefer stronger generation, right? No, not like us, because I belong to this middle-aged group as well. And it's great that you start doing this. And what actually unique that you start applying this knowledge of psychology into your coaching. You're just not a trainer of physically, right, and a trainer of the sport, but you work with psychological condition of each participant of your group, and this is something very new. And I'm glad that I meet more people who try to apply knowledge of psychology and that type of business or activity, or name it. And they try to apply the positive aspect of everything people do, which is really, really amazing.
Saying thank you, and it is when the women come, there is some barriers where they do feel body conscious. They might be unfit. They might have injuries or things, getting stiffer as they're getting older. And what we find is that slow immersion. So wherever they're starting at, it's connecting, getting comfortable in that ocean environment. So it's not necessarily like, hey, we're going to learn to surf today. It's that slow immersion into, we're just going to play in the water and we're going to swim. We're just going to get connected first, and then we'll slowly at their pace, because everyone's got a different pace. And so just connecting with them, respecting where they're at, respecting how they feel, and just helping them move forward when they're ready. And I find that the women, if it's done with that consciousness from the coach who respects the mature women, respects their needs and understands from that level, it creates more positivity, but you see them progress much quicker.
I mentioned in one of podcasts about my friend. She's like 72 years old, and when she was 70, She got relapse of her cancer. It was silent for 20 years after first treatment. And then suddenly she realized that she was extremely busy and successful business lawyer. And she was busy with business. But at that moment, she said, what's happened if I die? And it means a lot of dreams will be left behind. So what she did, first of all, she got a pilot license. So she started taking pilot license. And everybody, like, instead of support, some of people were saying, oh, why do you need this risky sport? Or why do you need to do this? You have to take care of your health now. And she says, this is what I'm taking care. I want positive emotions. I want to have my dreams come true, and I want to feel the success of life. And actually, she's doing very well. She's okay.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so she's going from time to time through the treatment, but she has no metastasis in her organs at the moment, and she's so happy because now she's participating in more events. She closed her business, and because like she's 72, come on, you don't need to work as a lawyer anymore. So that's why she's completely changed her lifestyle. She learned nutrition. She is really good, and she knows that the stress make worse. That's why she take care of this psychological condition. And we talk a lot about psychology, and I see how she's happy, which is good because happiness continues her life. Like this in condition of happiness, she lives, and it's wonderful. And I wanted to ask you another question. How about sharks?
Yeah. Well, that thought's always there, I'm sure. We are in their domain, and we do have the women on the shore. You can go out the back. There are always going to be sharks there. We don't have them often. I can't remember having attacks where we actually run the lessons, or anywhere on the Gold Coast for that matter. But it is something that's in the back of their mind. But I think that also puts the excitement factor in there, that you're in a natural wild environment, and you've just got to have that respect that, yes, they're going to be there. We've got to be very smart with times when we surf, the conditions and things like that. So you've got to have the respect of, okay, if it's an overcast day and there's a lot of bait fish around and things like that, probably not a good idea to go out for a surf. But so it's that respectful knowledge of the ocean, which we teach, but I think it actually is that adds the excitement to going surfing. You're in the wild environment. There's dolphins and there's whales out there, and beautiful fish and things. So there's a lot. It's just, you're in their environment and you just become one with that, and so it's that connection to nature, and that's another aspect of that overall psychological well-being, is you're immersed in it fully. So there's that, but we haven't had any shark encounters.
Good. I know one guy. He's owner of a couple franchise, restaurants, and once a year he goes somewhere to Australia, but not directly to Australia, some kind of like islands over there. I don't know, somewhere close to Australia. I never asked where exactly and what he's doing. He goes only just to get there, and he gets into a metal cage, and the cage is put on the bottom of the sea, ocean, where this sharks are. Swimming. And in this way, he says he actually get rid of negative energy and everything negative during the year, and the stress and feeling of like relief. He has relief. He's very happy. And he said, it's kind of mandatory for me to go there, be among the sharks, be in a cage. And he knows that sometimes the cage probably, like we have like some accidents even in a cage, right? But he's careful, but at the same time, this is like energy he got. This is thinking, this is like, he says, this is makes me happy. and that's why he's going
Yeah.
every year. And
Oh, that's fantastic.
some people
Yeah, it's
found,
strange, isn't it?
and he said, I love sharks. I love sharks, and I feel safe like among sharks. Like, good, good, but don't go with that. Don't go out from the cage. Like, stay there. I
It's
can imagine what,
adrenaline rush.
yeah, I can imagine if he would say I love sharks when he will be alone. There's no protection among sharks, but like people have strange ideas, but if it helps him somehow, and if people they like extreme, many people, which is not healthy, but at the same time many people like cautious, and then even they do something extreme, they still think about safety, which is kind of much better
Yeah,
than just
definitely.
jump into the water with alligators. Yes.
Safety in surfing is a very important thing, particularly not just from the ocean, having sharks and things out there, but it's just also understanding the waves and the rips and currents and learning all those things, because it can be dangerous if you're not educated, so there's a lot of things to learn. But I think that's the beauty, and that's what draws us back to keep surfing or swimming in environments like that, because it changes every day. So you're learning something new every single day, and it's that development, and that's where that confidence is developed, is that continual being in an uncontrolled environment where you are adapting to new conditions at all times, and each day you feel like you've accomplished something because it's different.
Yeah. Thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. Our time is coming to the end. And if you have if you have a short message summarizing what we were discussed, that our listener can make some points, and I would appreciate if you tell us these short messages. First of all, it's not scary.
Well, I think if you can get into water anywhere, whether it's a pool or ocean, and just either swim, paddle, stand up paddling, just connecting with other, if it's a women, if you're a male, just get in there and actually just allow yourself to connect with that, and do a little bit, consistently. You'll find that it can really change the way that you view the world. It'll cultivate many positive energies, such as a bit of wisdom, courage. You've got just that healthy mind, healthy body. So I just think if you have an opportunity, wherever you are in the world, it just, if it's a natural environment, even if it's walking, just anything where you're out of a comfort zone, but it tests you and you're connecting, I think it's really good for our overall well-being. But if you can get into the ocean, it's even better.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that information about Krista Barry and her coaching program will be in information about this video. You just need to scroll down and you can read more. And if you're gonna go to Australia, you have a chance to meet Krista and even learn something from her. Like you can have this coaching lessons with her and start surfing. If you like this video, please press like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will have more podcasts. And also, if you have any question to Krista, write in comments. And also, we can have another podcast and discuss something else, because a psychologist, Krista, say even more. If you're interested, just let us know. Thank you for watching us, and see you next time. Thank you, Krista, very much for joining this podcast.
Thank you, Olena.
Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.